is Tiffany and this is my channel, Who's Your Handmaid. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today's video is update number 3 for my stash challenge this year. So if that sounds interesting to you, stick around. If you are new here, welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by today. I hope that you will consider subscribing before you go. I would love to welcome you into this wonderful sewing community. Thank you so much to each one of my friends who are tuning in again today. It means so very much. Your support and your friendship mean so very much to me. Give this video a thumbs up if you like this kind of content and leave a comment down below. How are your stash busting endeavors coming along? Or maybe you don't have any stash busting endeavors. Maybe you just want to chat with me down below. I would love to do that with you. I love seeing your comments pop in. They make my day. They honestly do. Thank you so much for your support and your friendship. What am I wearing today? I'm just gonna highlight this real super quick. I love this shirt. It is one of my favorite makes. This is the Friday pattern Sagebrush top. I'll pop a picture up of my outfit in it. It is just such an amazing make. I love this top. I reach for it all the time. It is beautiful. It's comfortable. It's made out of a viscose fabric from Hobby Lobby that I purchased last fall. I love this top. I love the sleeves. I love a statement sleeve. Every time I wear it, I think to myself, I need to make more. So that's what I'm wearing today, the Friday Pattern Company Sagebrush top. Super fun make. So today is update number 3 for my stash challenges that are happening in this Who's Your Handmaid sewing room this year. I have 2 previous videos that I will link down below. Go check those out. If you haven't seen those already, I give an introduction to my challenges. I tell you how much stash I start out with. And then my update videos, like the one I'm doing today, I'm updating you on my monthly progress, how many yards I've been able to use, how many new patterns I've been able to sew up here in my sewing room, and just give you an overall update on how I'm doing with this challenge. We are nearing the end of one challenge, so let me just recap real quick what my challenges are. I had a challenge to myself to sew my stash down, pattern and fabric, in my sewing room this year. I gave that to myself, but then my husband gave me a very lofty goal of not buying any fabric or any patterns for 3 months. For 90 days, I was not supposed to buy any fabric and any patterns. And boy, have I really proved to him that I actually have some self-control when I have a goal in mind. So I have not bought any fabric or any patterns since January 14th. So this coming Friday, I will finish this challenge of the hubbies, and he's gonna have to pay up. And I'm gonna go on a little bit of retail therapy, so I'm so excited to go do that. But I'm super proud of myself and super proud of what I have been able to accomplish in the sewing room without relying on running to the store or, you know, feeding that hunger for more. Not that there's anything wrong with shopping for fabric and patterns. It is a part of our hobby. It is an extension of sewing and crafting, gathering your supplies, and I love to do that. But as I'm gonna tell you the numbers here, you probably already know if you've watched my other videos, I have a lot of both of those things. I have a lot of fabric and I have a lot of patterns that I haven't ever even sewn before. So it was really important to me that I take on this challenge. I accepted it because I wanted to. A hubby's challenge, I would have never agreed to it if I had not agreed with him that I need to take a look at the fabric that's in my room. I also jumped on board with Angela from Just Me and My Fabric. She is doing a stash challenge herself this year, and she started hashtag stash sewdown 2023, and I jumped on board with her hashtag, and I've really kind of I've adopted it into my own sewing practices, and I really am trying to sew the stash. So thank you, Angela, for starting that hashtag, and thank you for letting me join along. So let's jump right into the numbers. So for March, I made 7 items through the month of March. I used 13.5 yards during the month of March. Now get this. a grand total of usage of yards from my stash for the year of 2023, so since the beginning of January. Are you ready? 45.25 yards. I am so excited with that number, you guys. 45 yards is a lot of fabric. It's a lot of fabric. It's almost half a football field, as my husband keeps reminding me how many football fields I have in this room. I've almost made it halfway, so I'm really happy with that number. I have a much larger total number in my room right now, but a little progress goes a long way, and seeing those numbers total up, writing it down and keeping track and giving myself a pat on the back, and really helps me feel quite accomplished. So I am really happy with that total of 45.25 yards for usage this year. And it's just the beginning of April, so I have many more months to hit this stash really hard this year. So let's see what the impacts on my stash were from the month of March. At the beginning of March, I started out with 346 bolts. Bolts, again, look like these in my sewing room. I have a whole organizational series on my channel on how I fold fabric, what kind of board is in here. It's a comic book board. If you want to see me roll this up, talk more about how I organize my patterns and my stash, I will link that playlist down below. There's 3 videos in there, one for fabric, one for patterns, and one for my swatch book. It keeps me organized. It helps me know exactly what these numbers are to give you in these videos. I would be lost without it. I wouldn't know what was in here, honestly, if I did not have that organizational piece. So 346 bolts are what I started March out with. I eliminated 4, so I eliminated 4 bolts of fabric, so I freed up 4 comic book boards throughout the month of March, so that takes my total down to 342. So I have 342 in this sewing room. My yardage at the beginning of March was 680.25 yards. After using all the March makes, it is down to 666.75 yards. So I have made some progress in my room this year, little by little, step by step. I'm getting there. New patterns. This was important to me to pull out. I have like 480 patterns, I think, in my stash, but it was important to me to showcase and focus in on what new ones I have been able to try this month. So 4 new patterns. I have been able to use 4 new patterns this month, 1 big 4 pattern and 3 indie patterns, new that were in my stash that I had never used before, and I tried those out this month. So I'm really happy with that number of trying out 4 new patterns. If you want to see my March makes, I do have a video for that. I will link it up above and down below. You can go check out what I made in the month of March. Some big wins for me this month concerning my stash were that I took a little anniversary trip with my husband this month, and we did go to a larger city. We went to the city of Indianapolis, and we don't get up that way very much. It has a lot of shopping that we're not used to. And I was able to resist the Joann's and the Hobby Lobby, and that is a big deal for me. The Joann's, in the particular one that I like in the indie area, is my favorite. It has the best selection compared to the little ones that I have around me, and I resisted. I told Josh, I don't even want to see the building. Let's not even drive past it. I don't want to be tempted to go in there. So I've said it before, but the biggest assistance in this challenge for me is just staying away from temptation. I haven't stepped a foot in a Joann's in 3 months. Thankfully, I have quite the stash of like thread and elastics and stuff, and I've been able to avoid Joann's for even those small notion things, and I haven't been around the temptation of fabric. Likewise for Hobby Lobby, likewise for quilt stores, quilt shops. There was actually a shop hop going on in Indy the weekend we were there. I knew about it and I just avoided it. So I'm just gonna pat myself on the back again for staying out of those places of temptation. Yes, I would have loved to have stopped by those local shops for that shop hop. Shop hops are so much fun, but I did not. I didn't want to face the temptation. I didn't want to make myself have to go into a situation like that. And then also I had another win this month that I kind of patted myself on the back for. I was planning Addie's Easter outfit and I had a fabric in mind. I had a very specific design. I had a vision. And when I went to pair those fabrics up, they did not match. So I had an initial panic session. The old me, still in myself, said, let's run to Joann's and find something that coordinates. But this new and improved me knew that I could not run out to Joann's. I'm in the middle of a stash challenge. I can't just run and go buy more fabric. I have 600 yards around me. Surely there's something that will match in here. And indeed there was. I looked a little deeper. I dug a little deeper, dug into my stash, and I found something that matches just beautifully. So there is reason we have stash fabrics, right? There's a reason for them. There's a place for them. And I don't think I ever want to be without my stash, because scenarios like I just mentioned would not have been successful. So I was really proud of myself for turning around, going back into my stash, and finding a solution without involving any purchasing or buying of new fabrics. So let's talk about whether this challenge was useful to me. I think you probably already know my answer. I'm gonna say yes, it definitely was so useful and so good to take on this challenge of the hubbies and kind of cut myself off from my purchasing and my buying. And it really helped me to focus back in on my stash, the beautiful fabrics that are all around me, and the ones that I had just kept pushing farther and farther to the back of the pile. I would buy them, I love them, have a plan for them, and just never be able to get to it because I was buying more and more and more. So I really do think this challenge was super useful. Now, was it difficult? Yes, especially at the beginning. It was very, very difficult to stop the habit of stopping by Joann's when I went to town, or diverting to the Hobby Lobby, go that way home. It was very, very difficult to cut that pattern out of my life for a little bit, but it's worth it. So if you want to start something like this for yourself in your own sewing room, you can do it. It's definitely going to be worth your time. It's going to be a little difficult, and I'm here if you ever need to chat. You can direct message me on Instagram. I'll chat with you. I'll be an encouragement to you. But you can do it. You definitely can. Another thing that I actually struggled with was a loss of sojo and motivation. I get a lot of motivation by just going into Joann's and seeing what new beautiful fabrics are in there and getting kind of inspiration from going in there and having that experience, that buying experience. Well, I wasn't having that anymore. I was cutting myself off from it. So I did notice a lack of motivation. My sojo kind of dropped a little bit, but it really, really helped me to take a look at my stash, go in there, pull out bolts of fabric, beautiful bolts of fabric, play with the fabric, and then start designing some things that I want to make. Kind of remind yourself, oh yeah, I bought that to make this, and that's motivating to jump on board with doing that now. So yes, I did experience some side effects of sewing down my stash, but I was able to work through them during these 3 months. So what is the way forward for this stash challenge? Where do I go from here now that I have one Josh's challenge? Well, I actually really enjoyed doing this challenge. Wasn't always easy, wasn't always fun, but it was really, really rewarding. So I would like to start a pattern of kind of incorporating this challenge in my year here, my stash busting year. So my challenge is over on April 14th. So I'm going to take from April 14th until May 14th, a month, to kind of regroup and catch up on maybe getting some patterns that I have had my eye on, and definitely going out with that little reward that I won for my challenge, and doing a little bit of fabric buying. So kind of take this month to regroup, catch up on some pattern sales, perhaps like the Joanne pattern sales. I haven't got in on any of those new patterns, and kind of just take this month to regroup. And then when May 14th rolls around, I'm gonna start my 3-month challenge over. So I kind of want to create a pattern of 3 months no buying and then 1 month buying, kind of catching up from what I have missed out on in the last 3 months. Hopefully that's doable. Hopefully it's something that I can accomplish, and that's probably going to be my way forward for now. Updates, as far as these monthly updates, I'm probably going to move these updates to the last Friday sews of every month. I probably won't be dedicating a whole vlog to them anymore unless you guys want to see that. So let me know down below if it's something that you do want a whole vlog on. But I thought I could probably pretty quickly catch you up on numbers and how I'm doing in that Friday sews video. I've really enjoyed these. I hope you have enjoyed them. I hope, if nothing else, it's been a little entertaining for you. I've had a lot more attention on this topic than I thought I would. I'm not here to shock or browbeat anybody or make you feel bad about having a stash or make you feel bad about not having a stash. We all have our own personal, way of doing this hobby, and if you have a stash, wonderful. If you don't, that's fine too. I hope it's been a little bit motivating to you to look at your stash, maybe some inspiration to go back to those wonderful projects that you had that might have been put to the bottom of the pile as we accumulate more. Nothing wrong with buying, nothing wrong with accumulating beautiful fabrics. I just wanted to spend this year really focusing in on what I have and trying to use up these beautiful things in my sewing room right now. Okay, that's going to do it for stash update number 3. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you like this kind of content. And yeah, leave a comment down below. I would love to chat with you. I will see you all in the next video. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.